Hi everyone. So I'm going to show you how to have a Google form do a mail merge so you can send an email on form submission. Currently, two examples I want to show are a discipline referral. It's filled out by the teachers. When the teachers submit it, it gets emailed to school counselors, the vice principal's secretary, the vice principal, so that everyone that needs that information has it. One of the really nice parts of this is, as an administrator, because my um, secretary is getting this information, she's entering it into the student information system for me, so it's saving me a lot of time. This next one was actually a teacher's idea. Was a phenomenal idea. She saw how the email was being sent on the referral form, so she asked if we could do the same thing for a positive referral, and it worked really, really well. What we did here is the group that this got sent to was the entire staff. So if a student was caught doing something right or doing something well, um, I think we talked about doing things the Husky way. They An email went out to the entire staff saying, "Hey, if you see so and so, walking around campus the next few days, please thank them for," and whatever the teacher wrote in the description, the entire community would see. So to show you how to do that, I made a form based off of a conversation last night with a colleague here at the colloquium, where he wanted to um, find out when parents wanted either AM session or PM session of kindergarten without having just this massive mob line up in front of the school, camping out, because at 10 a.m. they're going to start taking names and preferences. Um, so form with the student's last name, first name, parents' first name, their email, which has to be entered accurately or the form submission doesn't work. Excuse me. And then their session preference, AM or PM. And the nice thing about using a Google form to do this, right here where it says responses, I can click this accepting responses button, and now the form is turned off. So I can send it out ahead of time to families and then turn it on at the appropriate time. And so it's not going to accept responses until the appropriate time. The other thing, if you do choose to do this, please also remember that you, at that exact time, need to also be taking walk-ups, because you might have a family that doesn't have access. So you still want to give those families an opportunity to sign up at the same time as everybody else. So just like a Google form is going to populate a Google Sheet. And so this is where our little army of minions inside the computer get to go to work for us. So you've probably seen this part of a Google Sheet before, and you probably never fiddled with this add-on button. But this formMule script is what you're going to want to get. Now, if you've never used it, it's not going to be there. So you go to Get Add-ons, and you're going to search for formMule. If you have trouble finding formMule, type in New Visions. New Visions for public schools in New York are the ones that created the add-on. Used to be called a script. And so you'll find it and a bunch of other really cool tools by looking them up. So I'm going to go ahead and launch it. And so now this is basically like an email merge in an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to tell it. Give instructions to basically the secretary that lives inside of the computer. So the secretary that lives inside the computer is going to do exactly what we tell it. So kind of like creating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you have to be very specific on what you want. So it's going to select from form response 1, and you can see down here, form response 1 is the name of the tab of the sheet. Form trigger, we want it on and not off, because when the form is submitted, we want the email to be sent immediately. Optional, I always click these because it just logs a record, and you see over here it created a case number, and next to it, it created a URL. It just shows me that the email was sent and there wasn't an issue. And so those are the 4 steps on this page. Form response, turn it on, click both of these buttons, and hit next. Pretty simple so far. On page 2, this would be for an advanced user doing some stuff down the road. All you have to do for today is hit Save Template Settings. It's already set to where you need it. And now we're going to create the email template. So in the case of the positive referral that I was sending to the entire staff, So we've got all staff, all Harper staff at, and so I would put that email address here. For this form, because it's going to be going to the parent, so I'm going to put the parent's email. Oop, got to pick my spot. So parent's email, and it does this double caret with the words parent email in there. You used to have to know what to type in there. Now they've got these buttons. It's one of the really cool additions to the updates to the program. You could CC it to somebody else or add a static email address in there, and it would always send it to that one. So you do have those options. Just use a comma after. So subject is email confirmation for, and I'm going to go student last name, comma, student first name. So the parent's going to get this email, and they're going to notice the email confirmation for their kid. Thank you for providing your session preference of, and what was their session preference? So, and it added this session preference in front of it. If it makes sense to leave it there, leave it there. If it doesn't, you can always delete it out. So I'm just going to delete it out. So they provided their session preference of, and it's going to say AM or PM, whichever one they picked. This submission too many B's there. Yep. Submission was received at, and I'm just going to put the timestamp. So it tells the parent when it came in. And again, I'm going to delete the word timestamp out from the front. Put a period at the end and just say thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve your family. Go mascot. And yes, I make spelling errors all the time. Okay, so when that's done, you're going to hit preview and send all. There's none in there right now, so it's just going to keep spinning. Right now it's fetching the preview. I usually let this wait 5 to 10 seconds just to make sure it is in there and works. And then I just close it. So then you want to test the form. So I'm going to go form, go to live form. Oh, it's not accepting responses. Turn it back on. Oop. So now accepting. So I go here, try to refresh, see what it does. Okay, so student's last name, Durham, Kenneth, Katie, Kenneth M. Durham at gmail.com. Make sure I did it right. Kenneth M. Durham, gmail.com, and prefer the PM session. Submit. Response has been recorded. If I go back to the sheet, I can see that information was entered. So it's going to have a list, and so if I've got 200 that want the AM session or PM session, then I'm just going to sort for this to sort a sheet in Google. You're going to go data. And you're going to sort the range. So I would click there so I could sort the range. It's pretty simple to find, but you'd sort the range and then you'd take the top however many slots you had, and that's who would get that session. And as you can see, it was sent. And if I go to my email, I should have the email in there so you can see what that would look like. It's always good to send a test one to yourself before you take a look. So email confirmation for Durham. Kenneth, thank you for your session preference of PM session. You submitted your submission, thank you for the opportunity to serve your family. Go mascot. And so that's that. If you have any questions, contact me, and I'd be happy to help you via Google Hangout, or if we live close, we can always meet up. Thanks.